Welcome back to another video, guys. Today's episode we have another junkyard episode. There was a few cars in particular I wanted to come look at here. In today's episode I wanted to do a little bit of a challenge. We're gonna see what we can get for $100 here at the junkyard. We'll go over the car, what it has, what the parts entail, and then we'll clean it up, bring it home, and then we'll go through the parts at home a little more in detail, and then we'll list them for sale or give them a pretty generic market price on what they'll sell for. We'll do it pretty reasonable. We won't go too high, but we won't sell them for absolutely nothing. And we'll basically do a $100 junkyard challenge and see what we can turn that $100 into. So there's an E39 right here that is a 2003 and has all the automatic headlight components. So I'm gonna go ahead and find that. We'll get those parts out, find basically the full headlight, automatic headlight conversion. That'll be the first thing I'm after, and then everything else will be bonus or just kind of special. We'll see what else I can find and what other cars they have here. So first, let me find that E39. Let's get those components out, and then we'll be back. Anybody needs some shoes, let me know. But that's what today's episode is. Hopefully we can find some parts for the M5. Hopefully maybe some random bits for the E46 M3, and hopefully we'll have a successful find today. We have found the E39. I think it's a 525i, but it is a 2003. It has facelift headlights right here. They look to be in extremely poor condition. It looks to be missing PDC sensors if it did already have that. 2003 525i. Unfortunately, it is gray interior and the door is locked. On the front, a box of marbles. That's great to see. We're gonna need to get this front door open before we can do really any of the work. Tail lights, so we might take those if we can get this trunk open and we verify they are OEM. Those are always good to collect. I'm not seeing too much more in value, to be honest. Got a little climate control unit. The bezel is intact with an automatic light switch. Anything else in the front over here? I'm not seeing too much else, but we really came here for the automatic headlights, so that's really all we're after. Update on the E39. I fumbled a little bit. I somehow forgot an 8mm, and that's the actual size for the LCM, and I don't have one, so I can't take it out. So I was like, okay, usually they have an 8mm in the trunk, but I cannot get this trunk open. I'm playing with this lock, trying to get it out and get it open. I'm about to look up a video real quick and see if I can get this open. Other than that, as far as the sensor goes for the automatic headlights, these literally always break, and the back portion broke. So I also have to look up if it's still worth it to have this without the back part. I don't know if it's the same universal or you can get the replacement. I'm not sure what part about this makes it so unique, if it's the internals or if it's this back piece. So I'm gonna look it up too, but that is broken. We have the actual bezel here with the automatic switch, but this actual trim piece was already destroyed and cracked. So I'm just gonna end up taking the whole thing, and I'll try to disassemble it when I'm home just to get these pieces out. That's what everybody needs. This whole thing will just be trash. We're gonna go take another look around, see if I can find an 8mm in one of the BMW trunks. Try to do some research, and I'll see if I can get this trunk open, but let me go to some other cars. Another thing that I've also been looking for literally the longest, I need this brake line, and I would get a replacement of this. Every single junkyard I go to, all of these are cut. Nobody takes the time to actually unhook them from the ABS unit, and they all get cut. So having an extremely hard time finding that. Someone also took this whole frame rail. I don't know why they would cut that. It's literally a few bolts and just takes it out. So this headlight is missing. That one's in terrible shape. And I don't see anything else of value on this car. So let's go take another look around and see if they have any more Beamers. Out of the 3 E39s here, all 3 of them have messed up brake lines. Right here, this one's cut. This one's a little bent, so it's kind of already sketchy. You come into the engine bay, and of course, really not much here either. Just gray interior, already kind of picked apart. This car didn't have too much value to begin with, but it would have been nice to see at least a better vision of what we were working with. All these trunks are pretty stuck closed, and then I got a bunch of junk back here. So let me see if this trunk will open. Maybe we could find something back there, or hopefully we can find a toolkit. This junkyard trip is looking to be pretty much a huge bust, but over here in the corner, there's an Audi S4 2005, and it has the Recaro leather seats. Granted, the front one is in pretty terrible condition, but the passenger seat looks pretty decent, and the rears seem to be fully here and intact. It's actually a pretty nice setup. Obviously, this one is pretty damaged, but the rest of the car actually looks pretty decent. So I'm trying to look up the prices and see how much these actually go for. It's kind of hard to find an exact example, but I think they do sell for quite a bit. Obviously, I don't have a vehicle big enough right now to take these out, and Audi's not really my thing, so I'm not confident in buying these and flipping them. I really have no idea, but these are here. So let me know in the comments, are these worth it? If I were to come grab these, take these out, is that worth it? Or is that just too much hassle and I should just leave them for someone that's actually gonna use them and not just for a flip? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Another little interesting find, there is a 750i. Of course, gotta grab the good roundel. Coming inside the interior, I am surprised how clean these seats are. They're literally in almost perfect condition with literally the slightest wear. I can't even call that wear, that's just normal. This interior is literally so perfect. If the front seats, door panels, of course, someone destroyed them, but the rears as well, they look literally perfect. Ah, dang, I hate that people destroyed part of these, but they look literally perfect. Dang, if I had a use for these, I would grab these for sure. Especially if I had like a 540 or something that you could put these seats in. I believe these are the ones that you can retrofit. But dang, these seats are clean. Again, if I had a vehicle I could grab these with, I'd probably snatch as much of this interior as I can and just hoard this, or literally buy a 540 just to put these in it. These are clean. This is such a beautiful color. I wish my E46 M3 was more this cinnamon tan color. My seats look a little darker, but of course that's just from wear and tear and over time. But dang, this actually looks so nice and clean. A good little find for somebody over here. Again, if somebody needed these, I would gladly rip these out, but unfortunately I don't have anything I could really fit these in and take them home. Reporting back live straight from the junkyard where all the cars were absolutely trashed. We went there in hopes of getting the full E39 retrofit module and everything, but unfortunately that just did not happen. I did not bring the 8mm. I couldn't get that trunk open to take those OEM taillights, and the headlight, one of them was missing. The other Beamers there was a couple cool little things, but really not much at all. Unfortunately, I was in hopes of getting some more stuff doing the $100 junkyard challenge, but now, now I walked out with $5 worth of stuff. We are home from the junkyard, back in my junkyard garage. This is literally all I was able to pull out today. Partially it was my fault. Second, the car wouldn't cooperate with the trunk and some other pieces. So this is what we ended up pulling out. So of course, I always grab windshield washer caps when I go because they're literally so easy to pull off. Not all of them are in perfect condition, but it seems like every single car you buy, they're somehow missing. So this one is in excellent condition. This one is some real mid. This one is also some real mid. But then I was able to find a blue one, which is OEM BMW, and I've never found a blue one. So I was actually hyped on that. And then I grabbed this other one that I found on a completely different car that looks to be the exact same size, and it was also blue. So I found this one first and was excited because it was blue. And then I found an OEM genuine BMW blue one. So I'll put that in the M5 because the M5 is blue. It'll be nice little touch up and colorway for the engine bay. So I always grab these, so now I have 5 more. Of course, I always grab roundels when I go because you come over here and people put stuff like this, or they're all just sun faded and destroyed. So can never have too many of these, can never have roundels. I just grabbed this because it was literally already off the car and wasn't completely torn apart or in terrible condition. These always seem to be also somewhat scratched up, banged up, or I've even seen some with some super discoloration. So you can't really have too many extras of those. I have a box laying around here full of all parts. This is all bolts and everything from multiple different cars. Then again, this came from the automatic headlights. So please, again, let me know in the comments below if this is replaceable on the bottom part, because I saw 2 other E39s again with this sensor missing and this back part was stuck onto the windshield. So I think you can order this part brand new. I think I have like 2 or 3 more in one of these bins right here. So hopefully, I think you can order these new and get that, but I think this is the main part that you need, as well as this whole bezel right here. You need this little switch right there to go to the automatic part. That's what they all lack. And of course, little fog light, never hurts to have too many of those. So this bezel is actually trash, but we have what we got. So we got 2 out of the 3 things we needed. The other car is still there. So worst case, at the end of the day, if I need to, I'll just take the right tools, go back, grab that LCM. And you guys seem to know best. If there is a special way to break into that trunk, let me know down in the comments below and we'll run back and go grab those taillights. And then if I got both of those things, I feel it would be, I think it would be a successful junkyard run, but today's episode is pretty trash. But they can't all be gold. You know, sometimes we get lucky and we get the best of the best. Sometimes we get junk. Sometimes we leave and I don't even film anything and I just end up deleting whatever I have or whatever the case is. I had this e-brake boot. At the moment, I literally don't even remember whether this is E46 or E39. I think it's E46. It looks a little big, but this literally was in perfect condition. It's just dirty, but stitching is perfect and it was just sitting there inside the car. So it looks great. Looks in great condition. The clip's pretty good. So I just went ahead and grabbed that. And then I took this again. This was literally already outside the car, but it was an EWS out of E46. I don't think these even sell for that much. I literally think this is probably like 10, 15, maybe 25 bucks at the most, but who knows? You never know what you'll actually need or what will become valuable. So I have this now. I'm gonna look up the part numbers and see what kind of year it is. Maybe that will kind of depend. Also, some little random finds. I got a plate with 2025 registration for May. So I got about 7 months of registration on that plate, so the HOA can leave me alone. This is not for road use, legal purposes. This is strictly for the HOA. So please leave me alone. And a fresh roll of painter's tape. I was going to pull out the Brake Master cylinder from that 750i with a cinnamon interior. I was literally already in the middle of it, but the hood, I didn't feel like taking that all apart and disassembling it because I have one sitting in this bag right here rolled up with 2 ABS units. So here is ABS unit. There's another one here, and this is the Brake Master cylinder off of E65, I believe. So I already have one. I was just gonna go ahead and grab an extra, but I literally dropped my wrench super far down and I somehow forgot my magnet. And I fidgeted with it for like 20, 30 minutes just to get my wrench out. And by the time I was like, okay, I already been here for like 2 hours. I have nothing to show for. I'm just gonna go ahead and dip. Besides the part run that we already got from the junkyard, I wanted to touch on one more thing. I brought this up in a previous video, but it's already been a while. I was sent these lights by a company. Let me go ahead and open these up for you guys. I was sent these and was testing them out and installed them on the E39 M5. They weren't as bright as OEM actually, so the factory headlight bulbs were actually brighter than these, and that's why I'm currently not running them. They were a huge improvement on the E46 M3, but my car has some wire gremlins and the wiring isn't looking too hot, so using these on the E46 M3 causes them to basically just shut right back off. So again, I'm not a wiring expert and I have much to learn. So this, I did film a quick little video. I was gonna put it in a short format, but it ended up being too long. So now I'm gonna kind of implement that into this video. So I do apologize for the format difference. I got sent this product to test out. It's supposed to be a solution to factory headlights. So today let's test it out on my E39 M5 and my E46 M3. We have the box open. I went ahead and installed one to test it. Inside the package, this is the bulb style and the little connector compared to the factory style. Don't forget, they throw in some free Michael Jackson gloves. One downside to note is that the factory locking ring on the factory bulb is a perfect flush fit and extremely easy to install and remove. On the new bulb, it is much larger and you also have to take off the locking ring and put this kind of behind it. It says it's advertised as direct plug and play, but in reality, it's not a perfect fit and it's not the actual OEM solution. And coming over here, in order to have the connector, it has to be removed out of here, and it kind of just hangs, and you no longer are able to run the dust boot without cutting it and modifying it. That right there is enough to throw people off. So let's go ahead and see if it's actually an improvement over factory bulbs. Right away, you can see the light display area is much larger on the factory and much slimmer and less bright and more yellowed on the left. Being a newer style LED, it has a fan which is quite audible, but you guys tell me what you think. It is kind of hard to tell in the garage, but as far as my concern is, these are not an improvement over factory, but they are an option for people that no longer have access to factory bulbs, if that's ever going to be a thing, or if people want to try something different, whether it be a colorway or something different with the output. Making our way to the E46 M3, I have auxito on the left and OEM factory on the right. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see how they look. Left was much brighter, but it already shut off. Unfortunately, due to unknown reasons, the new bulb will not stay on. It will stay on for a few seconds and shut off, and I can't do the proper testing, but it looks much brighter on this side than it does on the factory. In my honest opinion, this is not an improvement over OEM bulbs, but this is an option for people in replacement or doing a service. So go ahead and check them out. Maybe you can see for yourself and have some better results. I do have a discount code for you if that's something you are interested into. If not, I completely understand. I am myself am more of an OEM type of guy, and I will be staying OEM. I do have a discount code for these, so if you guys are interested at any point, you can get some money off. I'm not going to really push these or say, hey, you know what, buy these. Come on, guys, they're this good, they're that good. No, if you need replacements for OEM bulbs, you can't get OEM for whatever reason, if that's ever a thing. If you want to customize something with a different color light bulb, or if you want a different light output, or if you want something different in a different spec from factory, then I would say you can go ahead and order these and get these in the spec that you want. Possibly in the future, if I can get my lighting situation worked out on the E46 M3, I will continue and run these and put these in as a upgrade. Then it will be brighter and useful. But as far as right now, the M5 is stock, better than these, and my car has gremlins. I have never personally messed with light bulbs or changed anything. I've always just ran factory. So this is the spec of the actual light bulb for those of you who actually know and pay attention or are up to date on this stuff. I am not personally. It was supposed to be the $100 challenge, and it ended up being a $5 challenge. So I feel like this is very unrealistic. I feel like we're gonna go ahead and just title this as a $100 challenge fail, but this is $5, so you can't go wrong. Even though it's partially broken, this will still sell, this will still sell, this would still sell for 20, 30 bucks. This alone, probably that switch below is probably 50, 60 bucks for just those. So I spent $5 and probably would have made 100, but we didn't get the major items that we went for. If anybody also is local, because these are definitely not being shipped, let me know if you're in the West Coast area and want to pick these up. Let me know. They take up space and I don't want to keep them. So that's about it for this episode. I understand it was an absolute fail, and I'm sorry that you had to bear with me and watch this episode. I just finished off the F80 M3 episode, and I filmed 3 videos this weekend, and they're all absolute trash. Apologize for that. I'm trying to level up my content, but somehow it is not going in my favor. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate everybody who stayed tuned. Once again, I apologize for the lack of content and the poor content, but hopefully we'll be back soon and flip the script. I appreciate every single one of you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how to break into an E39 trunk, and we'll be back ASAP. Later, guys.